And on that note, if you guys ever hear of any grants or anything and want me to look into them, just let me know. The trainings are on page 31 and 32. If anybody wants to go to any of those, let me know. Just a reminder that I will be at the League of Minnesota Cities Conference later this month. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the end of the month. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Old business, the nuisance list. Bruce has the pictures here.
Okay, well, Bruce and I spent several hours going around town, checking each residence, and as you can see, we got a pretty lengthy list with 63 on there. We went around and we tried to be very fair and consistent with each property so that they weren't accused of picking on one for the same thing that somebody else might have. You got anything to say, Bruce, or?
No, I think the pictures are kind of self-explanatory on most of the stuff, and some of them aren't big items, it just would take a little tiny bit, but if we're putting one on for the same thing, we're gonna put the small one on too, I guess.
We did notice that, being as we sent out letters before the cleanup day in May, there were a number of residents that did make huge improvements between then and now, so it did help get them kind of rolling and on the ball, and I think cleanup day showed that with all the stuff we had come in too as well, but just wanna try to keep on top of it and keep trying to clean the city up a little better, make things look more presentable.
Guess we're looking for a motion to approve the nuisance list and are happy with it.
Okay, are we looking at taking any action here, or I mean, what are we approving actually?
I don't know about Bruce, but my goal is to send out these letters, give them the month to try to get things going. Obviously, there's some places that it's a bigger project, maybe to do some major painting or something that's gonna take more than, but at least so we can see progress being made, that they're trying to work towards it. If people are, a little, some of the stuff they just ignore and they just determine that they're not gonna do it, then my suggestion would be to start issuing the public nuisance citations, the city administrative citations for that, then to try to encourage them further to come into compliance.
So right now, all we're looking at doing is sending out letters to let them know.
Correct, yes. The ones back in May were just kind of a heads up, hey, we got city cleanup coming, we see these things in your yard, try to work on that to get it cleaned up with city cleanup day.
Is it possible some of these people might need assistance in getting some of this stuff done?
There are some, yes.
Because I know I've got things that I need done that I need assistance.
Yep, and we realize that with a lot of the, residents, we know which ones probably need assistance, or the ones that are just being more defiant and.
And I guess I have concerns too. I mean, some of the upkeep on housing and stuff like that, I just have concerns because I know some of them just don't have the money. So you hate to punish somebody when they probably already know it's a problem, but, so I have a little concerns about that.
How would we approach the people that are definitely need help? Because a lot of them are probably shy or elderly and.
We did put in the first letter that if they needed assistance to contact us,
Okay.
to let us know, and we might be able to find them help. Nobody has. We did the same thing last year. Nobody contacted us.
Yeah.
We could put it in this letter as well,
That's
at least offer.
what I'm gonna say. I mean, if I got a letter, and there's financial reason why I can't do it, I would contact City Hall or come to a city meeting and explain my case, you know.
And I think that that's something else we can do is just tell people if you have, you know, if you have some reason you can't, I don't, the wording right now is escaping me, but, you know, just contact us, cause I think that's part of it is the people who just ignore it
Yeah,
completely.
you just wanna know what's going on.
Right, if you call us and say, oh yeah, I know it's an issue, but I can't afford it this year, or whatever, we can make a note of that and we can bring it back to the council.
Some of them may just need a group of people to come and help them do the work.
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
But, I don't know, I mean, you know, cause I think we could probably get help for a lot of them that do need help, that kind of help. And
I agree, I think there's a lot of people, I don't move very well, but I know I would go
Yeah, I would as
help
well.
where I could, anyhow.
Right, and I think that's, you know, once we send them a letter and we offer that, that's sort of on them at that point, you know?
Yeah.
We can't go offering to every single person.
And I think
Door to door.
if the need, that type of need is known, I think there's quite a few people that would step
Mm-hmm.
forward and help out. But
Absolutely.
I think they need to be confident that it's there. You know, they need to know it.
Well, and even some of the houses that need painting and stuff, I mean, I'm not a big fan of painting, but if we could get a group of people together, I mean, we could get work done. But-
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to be sure we were covering all of our bases as far as offering to help out as well as telling them it needs to be done, you know, I mean, just.
No, the city does have one property behind your place, that old gray tar paper shack too.
I know which one you're talking about.
And, that's another one that we put on there just because the roof's starting to get pretty rough. Do we wanna do anything with that, or, I mean, that's another one we need to consider just for ourselves. What's our next move? It doesn't belong to anybody, it's on the middle of a platted street, so everybody belongs to the city, but like, the people living next door to it, they said they haven't used it for years and don't plan to, and anything that's in there is junk, so.
So nobody's actually using it.
No, not at this point, he said, I'd be happy to see it gone, he said.
It's
he just-
sitting under all those trees, so I take it the fire department wouldn't really be interested in using it for anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it's all tar paper, I don't know
Now,
either.
is that old shower house by your place there, Pat, or is that back in the
No,
woods?
It's straight back from me,
Straight back?
he's got it there.
Right behind Carlson.
Oh, okay, I just assumed somebody,
'Cause if they're not using it, I would just think we
Yeah.
could get rid of
is
it.
the
Stop and talk.
structure itself any good?
I've never been in there, I don't know, I always thought that they were using it, and so I stopped to see if he maybe wanted to fix up or to do something for it, and he said that he hasn't used it since George was the last one to store anything in there, and he said they've been through it, and as far as he knows, everything is garbage in there, so.
Because that's actually our right of way through there for a street, isn't it?
Yeah, Thorman Avenue is,
So then we technically own that building, the city does?
it's in the middle of the Thorman Avenue
Okay.
property, yeah.
Yeah, so we better get back to doing something.
Yeah, well, I was just
Just something
thinking,
to think about,
like if
I
it's a
guess.
smaller building, I can't quite tell by the size there, but it's probably too big for somebody to move, isn't it? Like if they wanted a cabin, you know, some of the people, you give them the building if they haul it out and that kind of thing.
It
It's
could be
old,
moved.
yeah, I've never looked at that close to see what kind of condition it is, maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's savable, and, I mean, I hate to see all these old buildings get tore down. but-
Yeah, sometimes they have character.
Yeah,
I haven't been in it in quite a few years, so I can't really say for the
Yeah.
condition now, but if it was in good enough condition, I think somebody could move it out of there.
Yeah. Is it something we can kind of get together and look at sometime?
oh, yeah,
As a group maybe, or?
yeah, just wanted to bring it to your attention, so.
And see if it's something that we could do a structure burn, train burn on it.
Yeah, let's get some use out of it.
Figure out what to do with it, yeah.
It'll be one-time use, but
As long as we clean it up so the neighbors don't have to look at it.
yeah.
Nothing else, yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to do is look at it, determine the condition.
Okay,
Maybe somebody from the fire department could go along with you and
Mhm.
okay.
get an idea of whether it's salvageable or we need to, deal
Okay.
with it.
All right.
Before somebody does start storing things in.
Well,
Yeah, or starts it on fire themselves.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, I would actually, I'm kind of interested to see what it's like
I'm curious, I just never,
Yeah.
didn't wanna go
Having a
in.
chest in there full of coins.
There you go.
Oh,
City property, Steve.
Got it.
Put it in reserves.
I think
Takes
it's
care of all the
probably
budget
looking at inviting to some neighborhood kids
Sure.
for, as a place to go play, is what it might start looking like.
Here goes our budget problem.
So I will make a motion to accept the new public nuisance list.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And the Converse Park Pavilion. Funding and update, page 36.
You can see on page 36, it's sort of just an update on the Converse Park Pavilion, our estimated expenses. We have the estimated revenue below. We did receive the Staples Motley Area Community Foundation grant, so we have $2,000 towards it so far. The Free Methodist Church has pledged money. We don't have it currently, but we have an outstanding grant application with the Morrison County Area Foundation. And we're hoping that maybe somebody will want to hold a fundraising event or provide donations or something like that to go towards that effort. We also have the remaining funding could come from the 401 fund. That's the money that's already been set aside for parks projects. I did get an update from the state after several emails and several different responses. The 10% money can be used for this project.
Can now.
It can. They confirmed, I have an email, they talked to like the director.
So it can, yes, it can?
Yes, we can use the
Sorry,
money.
I just wanted to
Yep.
be clear.
Sorry, we can use the money, however, as you know, that money can be used for several other things too, so I don't know where the council is going to want the funding to come from, something we don't have to decide tonight, but before construction actually starts, we should probably figure out where we're gonna pay for it.
10% funding, we currently have it with almost 30,000 in there.
Correct. It can be used for several things. That's where our June Fest donations come from. The city, if they wanted to, could donate to the food shelf. It can go towards police or fire equipment purchases. There's a few other reasonable uses of the money. So,
Just about anything that would benefit children.
yeah. So, depends if you guys want to use that money for that or if you have other plans for it. Either way, the state is looking for us to spend down that balance within the next year probably, so we'll have to find a good use for it.
So Lacey, it was kind of my understanding that some of these places are just gonna donate like materials and not charge labor. Do you know that or?
They didn't include that part of their cost. These are the actual estimates, like, I think
And I
they,
got that secondhand, so that may not be the case.
I believe these numbers include in-kind labor and stuff like that already.
Yeah, I think, like DHC, they were the ones that compiled this group together, and my understanding, I mean, that like 2,200, that's the rafters, that's the construction and everything, so I'm thinking they're giving quite a bit of, they're doing the final work for that. And like Phil, talking to him, he said, I estimated high, cause I didn't, he said, it'll be whatever it is, but he said, I wanna make sure I covered my butt, and
Yeah.
so it was on the high end, so. The electric, we know that's, they've offered to let us pull the permit. Okay. Newspapers here, sorry. But work with us, it might save a lot of money there
Okay.
too. So.
Right.
But I have not been able to get any secondary quotes from anybody, and nobody is responding, even the one that keeps telling me is not coming through yet, then
As far as like general contractors or who you,
both, anything,
Oh.
I mean, I
that's
reached
that
out.
time of year from.
Yeah, it's, nobody even has time to even stop and talk.
Surprising, but
It's a good problem to have for the community, but it's
Yeah.
Right.
bad for us trying to get a project done. Any
Right.
cheaper than this, anyway.
So yeah, I think Bruce and I were talking about, I mean, the options sort of are to go with this, probably, or to
Or wait,
postpone
yeah.
until next year, which I don't know that anybody wants to do that, but,
Be nice to get it up this year.
It'd be very nice, yeah.
Would be.
so. And Bruce's opinion was that he didn't think much of this was, like, none of it's overpriced necessarily. Nothing
No.
seems super out of line.
No, even the concrete work, I mean, the blocks we're looking at are twice as much as a standard block, cause we're going with color and the broken face and that kinda stuff, the flat work, you gotta have frost footings in the ground, I mean, there's a lot of work to it, I mean, it seems like a lot if you're used to getting discounts, but I don't know, it didn't seem terribly overpriced to me.
So, yeah, I think, if we were gonna use some 10% money, we should, it'd be nice if Al were here to help. But maybe we should all think of a number of what we should take out of that to put towards. That way, next meeting, we can just make that motion and discuss it a little bit, and that way we have that funds available for when construction does start.
Do we have anything else where we're looking at spending the 10% money right now? Anything specific?
Not that I know of. But we haven't discussed that yet at the budget meetings either, so I don't know if we wanna wait until that conversation happens, we can talk about that on Thursday at this budget workshop. To see if anybody had any other plans.
We got $29,935 in there.
Yeah, so the anticipated, I see it got cut off, the anticipated city contribution at this point, if the funding comes through that we've estimated, is $41,922. And then those possible funding sources there, the money set aside for parks already, and then the 10% money.
How much do we have already set for it? In the parks is 47,000?
Correct. So that would pretty much eliminate the set aside money for the parks. Which I know Bruce had been planning on a splash pad at some point. I don't know where everybody else's priorities are. I don't wanna,
And this tennis court lighting stuff coming up, we're gonna have matching stuff, we've already got the 2,000, or if we get more, we're gonna have to do it yet this year, so.
So that 47,000, a lot of that's sort of spoken for.
Or some of it, yeah, I mean, I think that project was about 6,000 or something like that.
right, and we got 2,000 and you're looking at getting 2,500 more, so we maybe only have 2,500 to pay for.
Yeah, and then there's a few other miscellaneous things, but.
Well, let me just throw this out there then. Unless something comes up at the budget meeting otherwise, what we're taking 20,000 of the 10% money and putting it toward the pavilion do? And does anybody have any thoughts on that?
About 9 left in there.
Almost $9,935.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous to empty it completely, so your thought is,
we would have a little better idea on after Thursday, wouldn't we? On
better
what,
idea
on what
of-
Pat proposed, a little better feeling of
No, I mean,
taking 20 out,
we'll have 9,935 left.
yeah.
Plus, I mean, we get money every month generally. This year's been a little lower on the revenue side for that fund than in the past couple years. But, so that will continue to grow.
How much do we make on that monthly?
It depends, it's 10% of whatever the Lions bring in with their pull tabs. So it varies completely.
10%.
Sometimes it's like $800 a month, and sometimes, I think we had one recently that was only like $90.
Wow,
So,
It's 10% of the net,
right,
is what it is.
okay.
yep. So, that's not something we can really count on. Generally, we've been getting, I wanna say the average has been about $5,000 or $6,000 a year that it's been bringing. And I could get those numbers for Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, it would be nice to have those for Thursday, because then we can maybe, since we're talking about budgeting, we could look at any long-term things. And get an idea. I mean, if we don't have any long-term plans, we might as well utilize what we have for the money.
And then that would leave more money in that parks fund at 47,000, leave more of that money there to do these other projects that's coming up. But it would still leave 10,000 or close to 10,000 in the 10% money. It's just a thought, I mean, I'm okay waiting till Thursday, I just want,
I like that number.
sounds good to me, I don't know.
Do the other departments have any say? I don't know why I'm asking.
Well, I put it out there for
Sorry.
everybody, I mean, I'm just saying, what's everybody think?
Yeah, we have a few days to mull it over for Thursday.
So we don't need to make a decision tonight,
No,
this is just discussion.
no,
Right.
just discussion. And
So,
technically, a decision can't be made on Thursday either, but
yeah,
we have time. It's
Yeah.
okay, as long as we have an idea of what percentage that
so
we
when
want to
is our
come out of there.
timeline that the city would need to kick in their portion to get this pavilion going?
Depends when the bills start rolling in, which also depends on a construction start date, where I wouldn't think before the next council meeting that we'd have any bills coming in.
Okay,
So, we've got a little while to think about it. Just wanted to get everybody thinking.
And I just wanted to put a number out there, see what everybody thought.
Any unfinished business? New business, the Motley Youth Swimming Lessons donation request. We give some money every year, I think it's $550. If we want to continue that, that's, I think, a good program.
I agree.
I would make a motion to donate $550 to the swim lessons.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, $550. The fireworks permit request, June 22nd. Page 38 and 40.
Yep, so we have the insurance, fire chief has signed off on it. It's the same plan as they've had the last few years, the launch site and everything. And the same contractor, company, whatever you wanna call it.
So we're looking for a motion to approve.
I will make that motion.
I'll second that.
Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Alright,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And C, approval of the deputy clerk / treasurer job description and placement on the pay scale. Page 41.
So at this point, this is just preliminary approval, this is just approval of the description and the placement on the pay scale. No hiring or anything like that at this point.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second,
And I'll second that.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And D, resolution 2019/21, a resolution approving variance application. page 46.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I will second that.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. E, resolution 2019-22, accepting donations to the city. Page 49.
And if you could make part of the motion, it's in the resolution, but the donations, will be placed in the fire truck fund. In the capital projects fund, these were donations specifically for the fire department.
Yep, I will make a motion that we accept these, and they go into the fire department's truck fund, correct? Truck fund.
A second? I'll second it. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Any new business brought forward? Public forum. You're up, Don.
Uh-oh. I got nothing. Boy.
Voice getting a little better?
It is. I
Okay.
had no voice yesterday.
Gary's happy then, huh?
I don't know, I probably liked it yesterday.
Council forum. Any member of the council wish to say anything? Our upcoming meetings, budget this Thursday, 6 o'clock. Council. The Motley Fair, June 14 to 16. Morrison County tax forfeited land. I think Lacey gave us a printout here. June Fest, June 22nd. Planning and zoning, June 25th at 6:30. And Pat, I will not be able to make that one. Okay. And then our next regular council meeting, July 8th at 6:30.
Are there any conflicts with that
I was
date?
gonna say, I will be on vacation that week.
For the council meeting?
Yeah, the week of July 5th, I will be
Okay.
out of town.
Well, the 5th is the week before that. Cause the 4th is
Oh.
on like a Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday.
So if this is the following week, I will be available.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah, but
sorry
it's the
about that.
Monday after the 4th of July
Okay, yeah,
weekend.
no, I'll be back.
You'll be here then. Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
A second?
Second.
No discussion? All in favor say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
Motion carried.
No, that one went faster than I thought.
Good job.
Good job.